might wind up in a body bag. Till you're back on the wolf back.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot.
Finally, the hot takes have come back to Tuesday. Hello, TJ. What's happening?
up, buddy? Dude, you know what I just realized too? And it just hit me when we came back on camera. We both have red hats. We are hot today.
I was going to tell you when I saw you log in. I was like, what's up, Red Hat? Let's do it.
We are red hot. Copyright infringement, Troy. No, it's not. This is our show. Our show only. No trademark at all.
Yeah. No, it's not trademarked. It's not trademarked. I looked it up. Gentlemen, fans, ladies, they, thems, everyone, welcome to the newest edition, the newest home of Hot Take Tuesdays for TJ and I, our therapeutic session of getting things off our chest and firing off on all things, mainly sports, probably personal, me and Chicago traffic and Chicago everything. Yeah, we are fired up, and I got some stuff to talk about, guys. It was a wonderful, wonderful weekend of things that I don't know, like my son said, it was very weird to wake up and he was sleeping, and after a long day of hanging out with the boys in the rain and the Cubs delay, and he's like, I hear you yelling John Cena, The Undertaker. Then you said Coach Cal left Kentucky, is going to Arkansas. He's like, he's all fired up and missed it all because he was too tired. But he's like, I thought it was like a fever dream or something. What the heck's going on? So I filled him in on WrestleMania and, you know, this crazy Kentucky Wildcat stuff. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. So my wife and I watched them. Well, I watched the whole WrestleMania. My wife watched it to a certain point. She fell asleep. I am so excited to talk about it this week. Probably we'll do it on Friday, which is going to be the best day to talk about it. But yeah, it was a great week, great weekend. But I'm gonna tell you what, dude, and this is the first thing I'm hot about right now. Screw these freaking solar eclipses, because they have got everybody all wound up and twisted. It got me sick as a dog yesterday, and I swear to God, my head was gonna pop.
Did you see it? Did you look up? Did you gaze? Did you sneak a peek?
We did. So my daughter actually came back from school yesterday, had one of those glasses, came in just freaking out, trying to look at it, went to the wrong window to look at it, finally went to the right window. She saw it for a little bit, and then once it finally hit like the not really totality on the where we're from, it was about 89 to I think 93% was covered. She actually put the glasses on and looked through our trees. Of course, none of them have leaves on them quite yet. It's warm as shit, but don't do it. But she saw it, and I saw it too, and I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. Now I got to wait till I'm like freaking 50 for the next one.
Who cares? I mean, it was cool. It was, if you were able to go, and I had planned to go to Southern Illinois to bring a camper down, and things just didn't work out logistically to do that again. My dad, Big Dog, went down there and found he laid the path of totality map over a map of the lowest light pollution in Illinois. And he found the darkest place in Illinois to go, and he set up camp, and he saw it and posted some pictures about it. And that was good for him and good for everybody else. But then here in Chicago, 94% totality. But even at 94% covered, the sun was still so bright, you couldn't really see anything.
You couldn't really tell. I mean, there were a lot of people here in Annapolis who were just like freaking out about it. They're like, "Oh, the birds got quiet." I'm like, "Dude, it still sounded like Maryland. You could hear gunshots down the street. Nothing changed."
Sun's out, guns out. It was 4 minutes of the lowest violence in America.
Yeah, so what they said.
All right, so let me get hot right away with this Kentucky Wildcat Coach Cal situation.
Oh yes,
as you know, since they got bounced, I was on that fire Coach Cal bandwagon, and then it sounded like he's the guy. They had their breakfast meeting and they went about their business. And all of a sudden, it's Coach Cal's interested in Arkansas. What the heck's going on? Then this morning, there was a bunch of hullabaloo going on back and forth about, why can't Kentucky search for their guy or talk about their candidates? And we all know the real reason. The real reason was because last night their candidate and their future head coach, Dan Hurley, was in the middle of winning a national championship, so they couldn't really talk to him. But let's call a spade a spade. That meeting, that lunch, that brunch, that breakfast, whatever it was the Kentucky administration giving him an envelope full of money, gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. I guess there's a clause in his contract that said, we will give you the opportunity to search for another job instead of just firing you. And then his part of the deal is, well, they're not allowed to announce anything until he tells them that they can, right? So he had the freedom to be the free agent and to do what he wanted to do, talk to your boy Jones down in Arkansas and all the money makers down there, to the boosters, to get his money. But good. I'm not upset. I'm not hot about the fact that they save face like this. I'm hot about the fact that we hold him to such high regard, and he's great, and he's a great coach. Sports is all about what have you done for me lately. And I don't care about your regular season wins and your preseason number ones and how many NBA guys you send to the league. You need to be cutting down the nets. You need to be going to Final Fours, and you need to be winning championships. And he won his championship in a different era. He doesn't know how to play in this era. He doesn't know how to recruit in this era. And so long. The cheating's legal now. Everything that you do that put him above the rest, right? I never denied the fact that that he's Dirty Cal. I fine, whatever. The Derrick Rose years didn't happen. According to the NCAA, never happened. But now that the cheating's legal, good luck. Good luck. And if you think Arkansas's got more money than Kentucky, he's sadly mistaken. See you later. And we're coming for you, Billy. Billy Donovan from the Bulls is coming to Kentucky. So anyway.
It's funny because I was honestly, as a joke one day, I was going to send you this thing that said Pig Suey, and it had Coach Cal with his nose as a pig.
Look, we've been burned before. Kentucky fans are burned before. Patino must have known. He must have smelled something in the tea leaves, because he talked about how he wanted to go back, or we would love to go back to Kentucky, that he regrets leaving. You can't blame college coaches for wanting to take a cup of coffee in the bigs and going to the NBA. But man, it's a different game. It's a different animal. And now with the NIL, this new era of college sports, you have to adapt. And Cal, I don't think he knows how. I don't think it's going to work out for him. I think his window is diminishing, because it's easy to put the carrot in front of the kids, and fight for what you got and get to the bigs. But now when you're going to be making so much money as a 19 and 20-year-old, and if he doesn't know how to recruit the window, how are you going to recruit the window for Arkansas? You can't throw championship rings and banners in their kids' faces and say, come to the number one school in the nation. That's not going to happen. So long. Come on. Billy Donovan or Dan Hurley. Those are my two picks to click to get in the Commonwealth and take us back to the promised land.
Well, that's a good fire starter. I'm not too upset with that one.
Good. What's got you fired up, buddy?
You know what? This is more of a personal thing. My daughter had her first lacrosse game this weekend. It was very fun to watch. We've come to find out my daughter loves to lay down on the field while people run past her. Boom. Best time ever. But something awesome. That gets to me, something that really got to me. Now, these are 6 and 7-year-olds that are playing. All right. So we're looking at first, second graders. And they're still learning the game. Lacrosse is a very tough sport to learn at a young age if you haven't had that, dip in it already. I am getting completely sick and tired of these parents who are living vicariously through their kids. And by that, we had a mother who I was helping coach. I am not a certified coach for them, which is thank God, because I'm not coaching lacrosse. I'm done. But we had a mother standing behind me and 2 other coaches for the other team. walking up to the other team's coach and said, "Hey, my daughter's better at this position. Put her there, or I'm pulling her." And I'm
Week
like,
one, week
week one,
one.
week one, week one, and these kids are learning positions. It's not like we have a goalie in net that they can rip on. No, this is like, okay, you get 5 minutes on offense, 5 minutes defense, 5 minutes midfield. Boom, done. Boom, psh, gone. This mom literally was down this coach's throat at halftime.
That's
My daughter's better at midfield. My daughter can shoot faster than these kids. She can make these passes and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like looking over at the coach, and I'm like, if this was my team, if that was my team, and some parent came to me, I'd tell her, okay, cool, take your stick and walk. Like, no,
Yeah.
let the coaches coach. Let them figure out exactly where they want to be. Just because you didn't make it amazing at whatever age, you have to live vicariously through your kids. No, stop. It's not worth it because it's not going to get your kids anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The politics of Little League baseball got me ready for Springfield or DC. It's nuts. And then the way these parents act and the way these parents treat coaches or umpires or things like that, like no, it's ridiculous. And as a coach myself, like I've dealt with it. I've had people tell me, you know, they come before practice and they come at the end of practice and they want to know why their kid is doing what they're doing. And it's like, well, you got to be here during practice and you'll see why your kid is doing what you're doing. And I've seen and talked to plenty of coaches that are like, you know, just flabbergasted at what parents do and where they go, even on higher levels, like when you're dealing with high school and, you know, travel ball. And it's like, look, you know, if you think you can assess the talent yourself, why don't you do it then? You know,
100%, 100%. I mean, and it was sad because the little girl started crying because she was so embarrassed, and the husband actually had to like restrain the wife. So, you know, with stuff like that, and I coach football. I've had parents come up to me and do the same thing, and I've told them, if you're not happy with where your kid is and where I feel like he seems fit, take him and leave. Like, I have no problem whatsoever. He doesn't hurt me.
Do you have the 24-hour rule with your parents? Like, look, we have the game, things are going to happen, decisions are going to be made, but if you got a complaint, wait 24 hours, cool down, and then send me an email or call me or text me or whatever.
I do 24 hours before game. Don't come and tell me where you want your kid to play. 24 hours after the game, so I can digest what happened, watch film if there's film, and then go from there and see, okay, maybe Jeffrey was better at a corner than having him at, you know, what we have in our defense are called strikers. So there are two free roaming safeties. You know, maybe he's better as a striker than a cornerback, you know, it's something like that where not a lot of coaches or parents understand that. Like, coaches need 24. I always say 24 hours after, but mine is 24 hours before and after a game. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if you send me an email, hey, are we doing? Shut up. You know this already. Shut up. Leave me alone.
So something else I'm hot about, and sending flowers and congratulations to the NCAA Women's National Champion, South Carolina Gamecocks. Because I called it weeks before, probably mid-season, when I was trying to get pumped for this, and the Caitlin Clark stuff was starting to heat up, and we knew who she was. But man, oh man, did the general public and the people that got on the bandwagon for Caitlin Clark had no idea that the Gamecocks were coming, and a lot of beef about how women have been putting down Caitlin Clark and putting down Angel Reese and doing the things that the whole push women's, you know, and help women out narrative really took a turn this past weekend, especially the last two games with Caitlin Clark, where was just a lot of trashing her. But anybody that thought that Iowa really stood a chance really didn't pay attention. They're not, right? The ratings show that they weren't paying attention to the undefeated Gamecocks and, you know, the complete domination of a season that they had. So my hot take is, if you're gonna enjoy something, get the full story and check out all of it. Check out the league. Check out everything that's going on. It was cool that that the Caitlin Clark thing was cool, but then you kind of ignored the rest of it, and that's why things aren't going to jump up. Like, everyone's going to talk about the WNBA draft and that she's a pro, and I'll probably watch her first game, and then everybody's probably just going to die down, and it's just going to go back to where it was. But yeah, so I'm hot about the fact that people that thought they knew didn't know, weren't paying attention, don't listen to us on Fridays, and didn't know that the Gamecocks were going to come and punch the Hawkeyes in the mouth. Also, I don't know, in a fight, who do you think would win, a Hawkeye or a Gamecock?
I'm gonna say a
Remember,
cock.
I'm going to say the Cocks would definitely. Yeah,
Cock.
they're yeah. I'd take Well, stop myself there.
I'm Pause.
All right. So, hey, we got a request here. I don't know who that is. See who that is, but they want to.
Oh,
the wrestling talk
that's
to
my
get
boy
going.
AA Ron Woody.
Hey.
So Aaron, come on Friday, and we'll definitely be talking about this. This is more of what made you hot. Now it's funny.
Not a debate show.
Not a debate show, but something at WrestleMania did get me hot.
What do you got? What do you got, TJ?
So I had a buddy who went to WrestleMania, very jealous. I actually saw him today, and I punched him in the face saying,
Nope.
"Why didn't you take me?" Not really punch him. I gave him like a little smack. It's brotherly
Wrestling
love.
punch. A wrestling punch.
A wrestling punch, yeah. And I hit my leg and tried to sweet chin music him. It didn't really work. I've slipped and fell. Cowboy boots and sweet chin music don't work. Stop stereotyping WWE fans. We are not all fat, ugly trolls. There are some good-looking WWE fans out there. I was listening to the radio this morning, and there was a sports commentator who said, "I will never watch WWE because it is full of child predators and ugly people who look like trolls." Now, this sportscaster will not be named because, of course, we don't know if they watch it. If they do, howdy.
They don't watch it. Light them up. Who's that? Who said that?
Valerie Preactor from WBAL Sports Radio 98 Rock. She's a good-looking little blondie. Not gonna lie.
But light her up on Twitter.
Oh, dude, once she said that this morning, everybody was lighting her up, and she actually had to quiet her ex, and it was funny. But you never stereotype anybody, because if people are going to stereotype, okay, why can't we stereotype her? She's a blonde girl. She could be easy. Granted, she's not. She's already put it out on the radio. She's not a very easy girl. But
what do you mean? In the mind, what are you talking about? Like,
look, I could take her out to dinner and just sleep with her that first night.
Oh, ew. Okay. All right. Okay. All
right. So if we're going to stereotype, I mean, and you got to think about it. A girl.
I don't know. I've never seen her. I wouldn't do that. That's not something that's okay. All right, carry on. But so she's stereotyping a fan base. And she doesn't watch the product based off of the fact that in the 70s it was a traveling circus and not a very attractive crowd. Well, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's
you
just,
can't. I mean, and you can't, because a lot of people. There are a lot of different people who like different things. Like I said, there's a few TikTokers that I follow. Aaron the Basher, super cool dude. The dude looks like a freaking model. Like, if there was a man crush, he is my man crush. He's like 6'8", just shredded. He's an ex-football player. And yes. Oh my God.
Okay.
He's a good-looking man, and he's a WWE fan. There's also a female that I follow. I can't remember her name, and if I find it, I'll definitely have to put it on there. But she actually goes to every event. Like, she flies to these events. I guess her family, or she makes a good amount of money on this, but she'll fly to these events, and she'll tell people, what the experiences are about and stuff like that. So there are people that are not trolls at these events.
Yeah,
we're not all ugly.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible take. It's not NASCAR, it's wrestling. So all right. Well, my take on this is, listen, people that don't understand why it was The Undertaker and not Stone Cold, just you haven't been watching enough, or you weren't paying attention, because that was a perfect add-in, run-in, and interference to that match. He's wrestled the Bloodline. He's for over 20 years, in the beginning, or not the beginning, but with Yokozuna and fighting The Rock, losing to Roman Reigns. Like that was a
He
perfect.
He fought Rikishi.
He fought Rikishi. He's fought. He belongs in that battle against the Bloodline, and that was a very perfect ending to the best WrestleMania. Yeah, that was best WrestleMania.
Hands down, best WrestleMania. I mean, in the time, like in my eyes, now this is also, I was very young. My favorite WrestleMania was WrestleMania 23, just because I was young and I loved, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels, and you had Batista versus The Undertaker. It was MVP versus Chris Benoit, and of course, we know a few weeks later Chris Benoit killed himself and double tapped his wife and son.
He was framed. He was set up. Yep. Chris Benoit.
But we had so many good matches on 23, and that was actually, I will not lie to you, that was the first WrestleMania that I ever watched with my mom, because that was when I started getting into wrestling.
Okay.
Like the tail end of WrestleMania 22, 23, I've followed and watched. I've watched all of them ever since. This by far. Now, I do love when Bray Wyatt came back as the Fiend, got screwed over by Liv Morgan. That was really cool.
There's tons of good segments of WrestleManias, but from start to finish, even with 2 nights, this one
was the best. The best.
All right. So, do you think The Rock screwed up by dropping F-bombs on night 1 and getting through, and that's why they censored stuff on night 2? Or do you think he knew he had 1 F-bomb to keep PG-13 rating? You get 1 F-bomb, so he knew that he could throw 1 in there, and that's why they were so set up and ready to go, because they censored that really well. They didn't miss it. They didn't miss a shit out of any of that one. Maybe they think they let shit slide, but there was a lot of other words that they got a hold of. Probably F words. And that's
I mean, they let shit, bitch, and what was the other one? Something else that I heard. There's ass in there. But I'm going to tell you right now, they didn't. They may have censored The Rock very well. Come night 2, they did not censor that crowd whatsoever. If you heard when Damian Priest came down, some dude yelled out of the crowd, "You motherfucker!" And they caught it dead-handed. I mean, dude, I sat there and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like they caught that. And then when McIntyre was on the desk talking to CM Punk, you heard somebody in the crowd yell, "Drew McIntyre, you're a pussy."
Nope.
I mean, they don't censor the crowd, but they'll censor the superstars. That's great, because stuff like that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's where the fines come from. I don't think you can get fined for crowd noise, but you can get
no. But I will say this right now: when WWE makes that transfer over to Netflix, we're going to see a lot of F-bombs. We're going to see a lot of curse words.
I think so.
We're going to see some wardrobe malfunctions that Janet Jackson will put that to sleep.
I don't know if they're going to go. I don't know if they're going to go. Did they say they're going R?
They're going back to, was it TV 14 or something like that?
I mean, it's PG-13 now, so then they're going to go R.
I think they're going to go more of like the rated R era.
Yeah,
that's where they're putting it on Netflix, because one of my buddies.
Netflix though.
So, but here's the thing. So there's going to be a waiver. So a buddy of mine lives in Stamford, Connecticut. He's a firefighter, local firefighter. And he and I have been talking because we used to trade Funko Pops all the time.
Okay.
And we've stuck along together, and we talk wrestling all the time. He said, because he was talking to somebody in PA at WrestleMania about them going to Netflix. And it was even said at the WrestleMania show, like the pre-shows, whatever. When you go to a live event, when everything goes to WrestleMania, you have to sign a waiver before you sign that ticket, acknowledging that there will be profanity and possible strong language. There will be possibly blood and crude violence in there, and occasional like nudity, as they call it.
So, Return of the Puppies, I see, huh? All right. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Good good for them. Whatever sells. It's not what I'm there for, but the blood and the blood is good. I gotta go with blood. Look, it's fighting, right?
Yeah.
It's fake, and that's another thing. I'm tired of people that are, it's fake. How can you watch something and you know the outcome? We don't really know the outcome. You think you know the outcome.
No.
It's live action. It's not a sport. Some people on X were talking about, how do you watch this sport? It's not a sport. It's entertainment. It's like going to a movie. You watched Maverick. Did you think that they were going to pull it off? Yeah, you know the ending. You know what's going to happen. But you still enjoy those movies. You still go to those things.
Like, I guarantee you, if you were to go to any one of us on Saturday night and you'd be like, hey, or Sunday morning, hey man, that main card, it's, they've got bloodline rules. Do you think Cody Rhodes is going to win? Automatically, everybody's going to say no because they know how this could go.
Yeah.
Did we know? Well, apparently Brandon knew.
Brandon called it. Like shout out to Brandon.
Called it.
He called this almost to a T. It was really good.
Brandon called it perfectly. But do we know as fans? No, not at all. Because it comes to a surprise, and that's why WWE is the best sports entertainment ever.
Yeah.
So why do we follow it? Because we enjoy the surprises and stuff like that. Like
it's a good show. It's a good show. It's a good show. My wife has a problem. She's like, why do they wrestle in their underwear? And I'm like, well, they're athletic, they're athletes, they're bodybuilders, their bodies, their temple, fine. I'm like, you could be a fan of Kevin Owens if you want. And then, she doesn't like, the way some of the gals look. I'm in the tank for Jade. I called that last Friday. That's just
she's scared. Okay. Marco, I'm gonna tell you this right now. As a giant male, 6'2", 200 and probably about 46 pounds now, losing some weight. So I'm getting there. Good amount of muscle. She scares the ever living shit out of me. I do not want to see her anywhere.
Really?
In a bar. Dude, I am terrified. Like, no, I'm sorry. If I were to go to a meet and greet, I would literally tremble because she's just, I am so scared of her. What she does in the industry is going to be amazing. And I'm not scared. A lot of people who are going to watch it's going to be like, oh, it's because she's black, you're scared of her. No, not whatsoever.
6'4" or whatever.
It's because she's 6'4" and she's ripped as shit. She's going to tear my head off if I say the wrong thing. Like, hey, nice shoes. I like that color pink. It's not pink. It's magenta. Like, snapped.
No, she's got an awesome move set, an awesome physique. She's tossing.
She's a hell of a wrestler, and I'm so glad that WWE has her.
I'm here for it. All right, another Marco rant. If you guys are paying attention, when the brackets came out in NCAA, I told you that Purdue don't win championships. It took a while for them to get there and fall flat on their face, but I told you so. Purdue don't win championships. Welcome to blue blood status, UConn. The new blue bloods of the UConns and the Villanovas are here, but Purdue don't win championships. They just don't. So take that. That's my take.
Well, and everybody was so hyped up on that. What Zach Eddie, Zach, whatever his name is. Yeah. Cool. The guy is like ridiculously tall. Just because one person is tall doesn't mean he's going to win the whole damn game for you. You got to play like a full team game. And I'll tell you what, I watched a little bit of that championship game, and I think this is outside of the Duke NC State game was the first game I watched all tournament long.
Okay.
Because after the brackets got busted like night one, I was like, yeah, nope, screw that. Bye. I didn't want to watch it anymore because I was also getting into baseball and everything was starting to come up. Watching Zach Edey play, yes, he's good. He's not great. He's good. UConn found out a way to get around him perimeter-wise and shoot and win.
Yeah.
Zach Edey could not do anything in the paint against those guys. So Zach Edey's a great kid. He's got a lot of learning to do. I think if I'm not wrong, I think he's like a junior.
He might go to the draft. I think he's going to the draft. But I don't think he gets drafted. I don't think he gets drafted. I don't think he gets drafted. Toasty. My hot take. He doesn't get drafted. I don't think so either. He does end up on a team. He's probably going to be a bum.
He's going to be in the G League or whatever.
Or he's going to be the likes of NBA champion Adam Morrison. Right? You got to use the moniker NBA champion Adam Morrison. practice guys do a lot. Kobe said, "Don't talk bad about Adam Morrison." So maybe he'll be the linchpin to bench, a 7 to 12 minute guy and great for practice. But I don't see him being a force in the NBA.
Yeah.
Hot take. I'm glad you brought up baseball. I got a hot take for baseball. Do you?
Well, so I have a hot take for UFL.
Oh, what you got?
Okay. And this is actually just in general. These guys are not professional NFL players. These are guys who have not made the roster. Stop saying that these guys are NFL superstars.
You put some respect on my guy AJ McCarron's name.
Okay, besides AJ McCarron. Dude's phenomenal. I do
not
like
a
AJ McCarron.
Not a debate show. Not a debate show.
Not a debate show.
Okay, all right.
But
So,
I'm hating the fact that these people are going out saying these guys are NFL, players. Some of them, yes, they may have had their time in the NFL. They've lost some luster. They need to figure out a way to get back in. This is their way to do it. But a lot of these guys are CFL college football guys who did not make the league, who cannot make the league due to something that they need to work on.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. But they are.
stop hitting that button. All right. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, right? They're not NFL guys. They're not, and maybe they will get a cup of coffee, or maybe they will, continue their career because they had a cup of coffee in the league. But yeah, definitely stop holding them up to the same esteem as you do the NFL and thinking that it's a replacement for the NFL. It's not. It's kind of not a debate show, but I liken it to if you're a college football fan. A lot of those guys on the college football teams aren't going to make it to the pro, especially if you're into the action or if you're ACC guy or whatever. Those guys aren't sniffing the league. But these guys are competitors. They're athletes. There's some pretty good games. I've been in the few games that I've tuned into. My Battle Hawks pulled off one again this week.
They did.
So it's entertaining, and you can make some money on it, and it's a lot of fun. So
before we move on, I know this is not a debate show.
Not a debate show.
May talk about this on Friday as well. Have you ever heard of the YouTuber Destroying, Donald Delahaye?
Yes.
Okay. He is out for the season with a fractured neck because he tried to tackle somebody with his head down.
Well, you got to teach him the right way. It's still football. Yeah.
The dude always this dude, every time you saw on his football show or whatever he does on YouTube, he always talks about the fundamentals of football, keeping your head up on a tackle. The dude literally laid his head in somebody's chest and fractured his neck. Come on.
That's terrible. You hate to see it, but if you're going to be a guy that touts fundamentals and technique, you better bring it. Is that the guy that got kicked out of the NCAA for making money, and now they're giving money away?
Yes.
Because he had a YouTube. He got kicked out because of that YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's.
And now he's with the San Antonio Brahmas. He was their kicker. He beat out I forgot the guy's name. It'll come back to me probably on Friday. But he beat out a NFL kicker that was really good. Now he's on the sideline with a neck brace on and probably out for the rest of the season.
That sucks.
All right, so your baseball hot take. I got to hear this.
Well, shame on me for not saying that the pitch clock was an issue, but apparently the pitch clock is now an issue, not because of the pitch clock, but because of injuries and pitcher fatigue and the way that they're throwing the ball. And the MLB doesn't want to address it and is ignoring that fact. And it's just going to be part of the process of evaluating exactly what's going on and how the game changes. But I'm going back to, and I always have been, I don't want the pitch clock. I'm not a fan of the pitch clock. In the beginning of the season and in the spring, I was okay. I was unaffected by it. But now that I got pitchers on my fantasy team going down and we got pitchers, good pitchers going down, and why are they having elbow problems? It's because you're making them pitch quicker than they are used to, that they've been trained to. And the excuse of just get them to do it, you're gonna blow pitchers' elbows out. I hope Strider doesn't need Tommy John surgery, but it's gonna probably look like that when he takes his rest. He's on a 15-day right now, and it's not going to look good. And he's going to need Tommy John again. There's that guy in New York, Cole. He's probably going to be done for the season. Might need Tommy John again. It's just it's a problem.
So, and I'm definitely going to agree with you on that one because yes, there are some pitchers that take forever for that wind up, but you also have to realize these guys are trying to throw the ball as fast as they can so you don't hit it. They need that time to, once your arm is gone, they need that time to like, okay, let me relax it real quick. Let me catch the ball with the opposite hand. You never see them like moving the other arm around, like having fun, like doing stupid stuff. You know, it's always, you catch the ball. They're trying to, the rest of their arm. I get it. You want this game to go by faster. Don't worry about the pitchers. They'll get it done. You have to worry about the batters. And that's where I think you and I talked about this when this first came out. It's not the pitchers that need to hurry up. It's those batters. They take 50 practice swings before they stand in the box.
Yeah, Juan Soto doing his little dance and his shimmy and whatever.
Like, shimmy dance.
Yeah. So maybe it's not a pitch clock. It's a batter clock. But either way,
batter clock.
Forcing the pitchers to pitch faster is definitely a problem. So boo to the pitch clock. Watch yourself.
To the bitch clock.
All right. Anything else before we call it a Hot Take Tuesday? Get our tacos ready and enjoy the evening.
I have one, and this may take a little bit longer. Sorry. This is our first episode back.
It's all right.
And it's been a while. This one's been bugging me for 2 weeks. Now think about it. 2 weeks. What happened 2 weeks ago?
Baseball started. What happened 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Fill me in. What do you got?
People who do not live in Maryland, stop saying the Key Bridge affected your life.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right. That's right.
2 weeks. Marco, it's all good. Your plate's always full, so just my little bit of gravy on top just makes me happy. Okay, just to remind you, it always makes me feel happy.
So what do you got? Who's complaining about the Key Bridge? Whose life is affected by the Key Bridge? Not seeing it over here,
and that's why I have social media friends that I have talked to all the time because they're posting on there. Oh, since the Key Bridge is out, our gas has gone up. Oh, my car is more expensive because the Key Bridge is down. It's been 2 weeks. It hasn't affected us that bad. Here's the funny part about it. There is a shipping lane open where they are getting small cargo vessels in the Chesapeake Bay. Literally 5 minutes down the road, they have barges that are taking off containers with cranes in the bay. It is awesome to watch. I've never seen something like this. I'm amazed at what we are doing as Marylanders and as a nation to get at least something in. CSX dedicated a line north and south to Philly and to Norfolk just to get cargo in and out. I mean, they're doing everything they can. For the people that say this is affecting them, it has not affected you whatsoever. For people who live in Maryland, like myself, it has affected me. It has affected my wife. It's going to affect my kids when they're older. It affects my next door neighbor because we live in this state. We use that bridge to get to and from work. Unless you drive that bridge, shut up. It gets me hot because people are like, oh, I remember driving the bridge coming on vacation. The one time I ever drove it, though. So it means it's so much to me. It's so...
I get it. You're sentimental to that, and it's because you're there. That's you. And I understand those people that are making it about them, and it's nothing. No prices have changed yet. That's not how that works.
No,
that only happens when that only happens when a refinery catches fire and they have to turn it off for 4 hours to fix it, and then prices go up, and then they never come back down.
Well, and that's and the thing is too, like, as a Marylander, we want to check the site. I always want to check the site. Anytime I can get a chance to go up to Baltimore, I always want to go see what it looks like now because they've been starting to cut the stuff away. They're taking it to an area to look at what they can do to make the next bridge better. I drove it today. 95, the Baltimore Tunnel. Drove 95 up, and I looked to the right, and you can still see the dolly sitting there with the the piece of bridge still stuck on it. As they're still taking containers off, you can still see a part of it still, protruding out of the water. I'm going to tell you right now, it still hits a little. It doesn't hurt as much as it did the first week that it happened, or the first couple of days that it happened, because I saw it the day, like 2 days after, or I
Mhm.
saw it the day after, actually. It doesn't sit as emotional anymore because it's had some time to sink in. We've been able to see the progress that the Army of Engineers have gotten to take this part out, where we have now 2 shipping lanes, 35 feet deep, bringing in these barges that have oil, crude oil, that have all the merchandise we need, even some vehicles. I've seen ro-ros out there, and these ro-ros are unloading cars in the middle of the water. It's really cool. I mean, like, and it's fantastic what they're doing.
Well, good.
But it doesn't affect people outside of the state of Maryland. So if you're outside of the state of Maryland, it says it affects you, you can eat dirt. I'm sorry. Like, it really starts to irk my nerve.
Good. All right.
good. I'm cool.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to help tell the president that it's an election year and you can bring gas prices down, that would be great, even though the president's not.
Oh yeah. Also, tell the president there was never a train track on the Key Bridge.
Well, he's old.
Unless
and
he was
forgets
playing
things.
Thomas the Tank Trains while driving.
Not a political show, but I did find I found a funny meme that has since been taken down from this Facebook page called Dump Trump. So clearly these are anti-Trumpers. Fine, to each your own. But then there's over the edge anti-Trumpers, the Trump derangement syndrome folk. And some of my favorite people have Trump derangement syndrome. And I apologize. And I hope that they could help. I'm trying to help them day by day. And somebody put a picture, they were picking up their dog poop, and they put Trump's name in dog poop. That dude lives so rent-free in your head that you're up there shoveling shit, literally, and you're thinking about Donald Trump. Like, when I'm doing chores and I'm cleaning stuff, we had to shampoo our carpets. We shampooed our carpets, got a shampooer, and did a couple of the rooms and the stairs and everything, because time to clean the stairs, some spring cleaning. Not once did I think of Joe Biden during that, or Trump, or any president. Maybe Grover Cleveland once maybe popped in my head.
Grover Cleveland, out of nowhere. I'm just sweeping. You're like, man, wouldn't it be nice to have dinner with Grover Cleveland one day?
But these people with their Trump derangement syndrome. I got a guy. He's probably watching right now, and guy I went to grade school with many years ago. And anytime I post anything, it doesn't even have to be political, but anytime I post anything, he comes in with some anti-Trump barb, and it's like, dude, it's not even, he's not adjacent to Trump whatsoever. Like, bro, you don't even have to bring him up. We're talking about the eclipse. I'm talking about MH370. I'm talking about, Havana syndrome. But no, he's just always got to go
Trump. Yeah, I mean that's going to be the nation. And as we always say, it's not a political show. It's not a political show. We don't care what your political views are. If you vote Trump, awesome. If you vote Biden, okay. That's all I'm going to say.
If you vote Biden, it's your fault. Hey, again, I was a never Trumper. I loved those 20. What was it, the 2016 debates and stuff, like those were. But I was like, "There's no way we're going to let this guy in," and then they let him in, and it's look.
That's the thing, like with people and how they are with political views, they look at it as like, okay, this guy's never been in office. He got in office, and are we saying he was the best president? Never. No one is ever the best president. But were there things that we were looking forward to? Oh fuck yeah! Especially in the blue collar world, dude. Oh, I loved it. It helped me out tremendously. Now I'm getting boned.
Yeah. Well, look, I say the two-party system sucks. It's broken. The take the names and the initials of Republican and Democrat off of the ballot and just put the issues, and then you vote for the issues, and then you go and we'll put in the guy that supports those issues, guy or gal that supports those issues, and put in a third party. But it's all rigged. It's George Carlin said it's one big party and we're not invited. And it's
before we go. It caught my eye. I have a little NASCAR on the side. Did you see Joey Logano's sponsor on the top of his car near the back window? Do you see who one of his sponsors is?
Did not.
Okay. What has Congress been pushing to take out of sports?
I don't know. Gender? Oh,
Dip.
Did you freeze? Oh,
Dip.
dip? So he's got a
He
dip.
has He has Copenhagen as a sponsor on the back window. Very, very subtle. You can't see it unless you stop. He has Copenhagen. Is Copenhagen coming back as a sponsor? Because if so, I want the Kodiak Bear car to come back. I have that.
Oh, really? I know there's a nicotine pouch sponsorship with Zone nicotine pouches. Not available in I don't know. I think you can just get them online. But my guy Kyle Busch does the Zone Premium Nicotine Pouch sponsorship from last year. So, look, man, NASCAR was you won the Winston Cup. That was a cigarette brand. You know what I mean? You have the cigarettes and beer was the heart and soul of NASCAR fandom. So, probably hard to get 100% rid of it. And yeah, Copenhagen. I'm not a dipper. I don't do the dip, but those that do,
2 months
understand the risk,
and it feels great.
Good for you. All right, get you
2 months clean.
Where's it at? So 2 months clean from what?
Dipping
And anything else? Still sober?
I can't say drinking because I did have my very first episode of Whiskey Wednesday. We drank whiskey together.
That's right, we did. I'm a bad influence. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I needed that relaxing. But yeah, I actually also 2 months without soda. So your boy's losing weight and he's got some big things coming up.
Right on, buddy. Right on. All right. Well, wonderful first Tuesday back. Appreciate everybody that joined the show. I look forward to Friday. Hopefully you get there. Are we doing Whiskey Wednesday? You got a show coming up tomorrow or no?
Wednesday is going to be postponed. I actually have a football is our first game this week. We have a mandatory meeting. So no Whiskey Wednesday.
All right, no Whiskey Wednesday, and hope to see you Friday. Everybody else, hope to see you Friday as well. Oh, we didn't even hit the Twitter. See what the hashtag HTT's got going on, but we'll get them next week. We'll get them next week. All right. Appreciate you, buddy. Take it easy, and good night, everybody.
I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul better.